I want to mention as well today that this is not what I would call good Minnesota weather. I cannot believe that we're having snow again tonight. But I also want to let you know that we are going to be serving Second Harvest tomorrow, and so if you are willing to come and to help, because it'll be shorthanded. I'm going to be gone, and so we could use a few extra hands to help with the serving of the food and the setting up and taking down. The actual time that we serve is from 11 to 1, but if you were to come early about 10 to make sure everything's set up and ready to go, that would be wonderful. So that's tomorrow, Second Harvest. I have, you can read your own announcements this morning. I just want to remind you that on your bulletin is one of these little slips that tells you that lets us know you're here. If you're visiting, you're here. If you're normal, but it also gives you a chance to share a prayer request. I encourage you to fill that out, put it in the offering plate. Am I fuzzy? I'm fuzzy. You can't figure it out? Are you going to work on that? I'll get better with the hour. But you're right, it is kind of see, now you threw me off. I'm not sure what I'm going to say either. I have two people I want to have come up and do a quick announcement. One is, well, we have an event coming on that John and Sue want to share about.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'd like, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to keep this brief and to the point. Pastor Dan said, my name is John Watts. I'm sure most of you know Susan. Today I come on behalf of a committee that we started for Lori Dundas. For those of you who do not know Lori is a member of this congregation and does her part. And Lori was first diagnosed with cancer back in 2013. And Lori underwent a lumpectomy and thought her cancer was behind her. And for those of you who have had that journey before, you never know. And unfortunately, Lori was diagnosed again in 2017. This time, with her consultant and her doctor, she decided that she would go in and it was in a different location. So the best opportunity that our doctor thought was a difficult one, but something they had to do, so they had a double mastectomy. So those of you who are aware of what healthcare costs are today, and especially in small business, it goes through the roof. So as a friend of Lori and our other friends, we decided it was the right thing to do, but Lori fought it tooth and nail, kicked, and said, you know what, we don't need to do this for us. But we said, you know what, Lori, you do enough not only for this church, but for the community, and you guys have given a lot. So where I'm going with this is we're going to have a benefit on April 28th. It's on a Saturday from 5 to 10 down at the Eagles on Riverfront. And we're going to have a silent auction, a spaghetti dinner, and 3 bands that have volunteered their time, and various other things. So I'm just putting it out there for the congregation, and if they'd be interested, after church today, I'll be downstairs selling tickets. And this brings me to Susan. Our committee said, reached out to Susan if she could help out, possibly with the bake sale and the desserts. And as always, Susan graciously didn't hesitate one bit. So I would like to first of all thank Susan for her gracious, and she would just like to share just a few things. And I just want to wrap this up and say thank you so much for the time, and I just want to wish Lori the best in her days ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, John. And it was an easy yes, because I knew that the whole church would become involved and be a part of it. We are responsible for providing the desserts for the entire benefit, as well as putting on a bake sale. There are other people in the community that are bringing bake sale things and some desserts, but they're planning for 750 people, and that's a lot. So there's a sign-up sheet outside in the narthex where if you are willing to bring a pan of bars and bake sale items, that would be phenomenal. Every once in a while, I get sort of mini panic attacks because I think about the amount that's needed. But then when I think of all of you and God's grace, it brings a smile, and I know that it's going to work. So thank you in advance for all your participation, and I know that we can all come together for this wonderful benefit. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I was kind of hoping you were going to do all the baking. I'm disappointed. I have one other announcement I want to have shared. It's an opportunity for us as a church to come alongside of two ministries one in our community. Well, both of them are in our community, and one for some or another. But Aiden wants to tell you what's going on.
Hello, my name's Aiden. You've probably seen me causing trouble the past couple of years. So this coming summer, we are doing a fishing tournament with the Young Life, and I'm asking for support in fundraising, because we are going to be supporting the Young Life and then Teen Challenge. So in the bulletin, there's more information on this green sheet, and that is about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Aiden. Just a further word on that. It is an opportunity to help Teen Challenge with money for their ministry, and also to help Young Life, and which has their office here in our church. I encourage you to participate. I encourage you to support Aiden. Aiden and maybe someone else here wants to do some fishing and go into the tournament. But so we're going to make an opportunity for you in the next weeks ahead to come up with to share some finances so that they can be well represented, or our church can be well represented in this fishing tournament. So keep a heads up. Be thinking about how you can. And by the way, they're also raffling off a 16-foot fishing boat, brand new fishing boat, and the tickets. Can you talk about raffling? We sure can. $20 a ticket for a chance to win that boat. So just so you have a heads up as to what's going on. I want to just share a few concerns we have this morning with some of our church family. We should be praying for those in our church who have lost loved ones. Larry Buller's father passed away this past about a week and a half ago, and Miriam Feist's brother passed away just this past week, and Cindy Morrison's uncle passed away. I want us to continue to pray for them as they process the loss of their loved ones. I also want to invite you to continue to be praying for Robert Feist, who his numbers are down again. That's a good thing. We celebrate that. And then also be praying for Donna, who continues to battle with cancer. And it's got an awfully big toe hold. So I'll be praying for her as well. And then Helen Wakas, doing well, but was thought that she was in real critical condition. So be praying for her as she remains in the hospital to get her strength back to go home. And then I don't usually do this, but I get a call Friday from a friend, a really close friend of mine, who has been a significant part of my life. It really wasn't my friend. It was my friend's son, who called to say that his father was in gravely critical condition and was expected to die. And we've prayed for Tom before, but I just want to encourage you, if you would, this morning, just pray for Tom and for the family. Unless God intervenes in some miraculous sort of way, he probably will be will be dying today. So just pray for the family. I appreciate that. Why don't we join together and pray together? We pray for the offering and pray for those we've mentioned. Father, I thank you that you are a God that knows the dynamics of who and where and what we are in our lives. And I thank you that we can come to you this morning with our petitions and our concerns. We can come to you this morning and know that you hear us. And that as we bring forth our concerns to you, as we share with each other what's going on in our lives, we know, Father, that you hear and you care. So this morning we come petitioning you for those in our church family who are wrestling with cancer. Petitioning you, Father, for those in our church who are wrestling with the loss of loved ones. Petitioning you, Father, to give care and to love to those who are in the process of dying, or those who are wrestling in physical ways. Lord, I pray as we lift them before you this morning that you would hear our hearts and that you would respond by the awareness of your love and your grace in the lives of those that need your love and grace. So we give this morning to you, and we give these people to you, and we ask, Father, that you would do what you do best. Touch broken hearts. In Christ's name, amen. Thank you very much. It's good to have you guys back. We want to welcome you all this morning and say it is great to have you here. And I want you to know that God is present and God is celebrating your presence this morning. We want to begin this morning by reading a passage from Hebrews.
Good morning. Our first passage is from Hebrews 1 through 4. Long ago, God spoke to our ancestors in many and various ways by the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by a Son, whom he appointed heir of all things, through whom he also created the worlds. He is the reflection of God's glory and the exact imprint of God's very being, and he sustains all things by his powerful word. When he had made purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, having become as much superior to angels as the name he has inherited is more excellent than theirs.
In celebration of that Christ that has given us, illuminated us and given us new life, we're going to invite you to join together in singing the Apostles' Creed, which is, we've done it before, called We Believe. So let's stand together.